As a clinician who spent many years working with older adults, I want to begin with a gentle but important truth. Movement matters, and the form of movement matters even more as we age. When people in Japan talk about staying active into very old age, they rarely mean heavy gym sessions or marathon training. They mean small, consistent practices embedded in daily life, a pattern of movement that is social, habitual, and sustainable. Today I will explain 6 simple, traditionally Japanese ways older people move every day, what each movement actually does inside the body, how clinicians measure its benefits, and what research has shown about the effects on strength, balance, thinking, and longevity. I will speak slowly and clearly, and when I refer to research, I'll mention the study so you, or a family member, can look it up later. The first practice I want to describe is Radio Taiso, radio calisthenics. If you have seen a group of people in a park following a radio broadcast while they stretch and bend together, you have already seen it. Radio Taiso is a short, low-impact sequence of whole-body movements, gentle arm raises and rotations, side bends, knee lifts, toe raises, simple marching on the spot, and breathing pauses. It is short, often 5 to 10 minutes, but it is deliberately whole-body and rhythmic. Clinicians studying Radio Taiso found that a home-based Radio Taiso program improved dynamic balance, aerobic endurance, and exercise self-efficacy in older adults with frailty, and researchers are actively studying its safety and feasibility as a low-burden daily program for community seniors. In randomized and pilot trials, regular Radio Taiso practice produced small but clinically meaningful gains in agility and mobility. In other words, it helps older adults feel steadier and more confident when they move. If you use this exercise in a video, show a slow step-by-step demonstration. Arms up with inhalation, arms down with exhalation, gentle shoulder rolls, slow knee lifts while holding a chair for balance, and a final slow march in place. Emphasize rhythm over speed. The goal is repeated, controlled joint motion and modest heart rate elevation rather than fatigue. See randomized, home-based Radio Taiso trials and protocols for reference. Closely related to the idea of short, frequent movement is what Japanese researchers call interval walking training, sometimes called Japanese interval walking. This is not complicated. You alternate brief periods of faster walking with periods of slower recovery walking. For example, 3 minutes brisk, 3 minutes comfortable, repeated for 20-30 minutes. The importance of this pattern is twofold. First, the faster intervals raise your heart rate enough to stimulate cardiovascular and muscular improvements. Second, the recovery intervals keep the overall session low impact and sustainable for joints and lungs. Trials from Japan have shown significant improvements in aerobic capacity, thigh muscle strength, and blood pressure with interval walking compared to steady pace walking. For many older adults, this method has proved both more effective and more enjoyable than long, slow walks, because the variety keeps people engaged and allows measurable gains with a modest time investment. In practical terms, start with a short session, maybe 2 cycles of fast, slow walking, and build gradually. The fast pace should feel challenging, but not impossible. You should be able to speak in short phrases, but not sing. Wear comfortable shoes, choose flat routes, and stop if you feel dizzy. The research on interval walking demonstrates it is a feasible, evidence-based way to improve walking power and cardiovascular health in middle-aged and older adults. Next, I want to speak about balance-focused movement that in practice looks very much like Tai Chi and is widely practiced in parks across East Asia. Slow, deliberate weight shifts, controlled turns, and mindful foot placement. Although Tai Chi originated in China, it is widely practiced in Japan and shows up in many Japanese community programs because its effects on balance and fall prevention are robust. Systematic reviews and meta-analyses find that regular Tai Chi practice reduces falls and improves functional balance parameters in older adults. The reason Tai Chi works is not mystical. It improves proprioception, your body's sense of where it is in space, increases ankle and hip control, and trains reaction time during gentle weight shifts. For seniors, the practical takeaway is clear. Short, Tai Chi-style practice, even 20-30 minutes a few times per week, improves the nervous system's ability to coordinate balance corrections. If you demonstrate this on screen, show a few slow weight transfers, shift your weight to the right foot and lift the left heel slightly, then reverse. Practice small controlled turns with the toes pointed forward, and finish with slow knee and ankle rolls. Stress safety. Use a chair or wall for support when trying these for the first time. The body of evidence supports Tai Chi as an effective, low-risk balance practice for older adults. The fourth movement I want to discuss is a very simple functional exercise, the sit-to-stand, chair stand. Clinicians use the sit-to-stand test as both an assessment and an exercise because the motion of standing up from a chair is literally the motion that preserves independence. In research settings, we commonly use the 30-second sit-to-stand test to measure lower limb strength and endurance. Interventional studies where older adults practice controlled sit-to-stand repetitions show improvements in leg muscle power and functional performance. The advantage of this movement is that it is functional. It trains the exact muscles you need to rise from chairs, get out of the car, and climb a step. In a video, show how to perform it safely. Feet hip-width apart, lean slightly forward from the hips, press through the heels to stand up slowly, pause 1 to 2 seconds at the top to regain balance, then sit down with control. Do not drop into the chair. Start with one set of 5 slow repetitions and build to 2 or 3 sets as tolerated, resting between sets. Explain that the motion should be deliberate and pain-free. If knee pain occurs, shorten the range of motion and use arm support until strength improves. Evidence shows repeated, progressive sit-to-stand training improves muscle quality and functional capacity in older adults, which directly translates to safer, more independent living. The fifth daily exercise that many Japanese seniors practice and which functions as exercise even though it does not look like formal training, is gardening and active household work. In some of Japan's longevity communities, people garden every day, planting, watering, weeding, pruning, carrying small loads and walking around the garden. Longitudinal studies have found associations between daily gardening and lower mortality, improved mood, and better physical function in older adults. Gardening provides a unique blend of light aerobic activity, gentle strength work, mobility, and time outdoors. It also supports mental health because it is purposeful and social when done with neighbors. From a physiological perspective, gardening keeps hips and knees mobile, maintains grip strength and shoulder tolerance, and contributes to daily step counts without the boredom of formal exercise. For older adults who find structured classes unpleasant, gardening is often a natural way to accumulate movement across the day. If you demonstrate gardening-type movements in a video, show practical examples. Kneeling or raised beds for comfort, slow lifting technique for small planters, bend at the knees, keep the load close to the body, and using both hands to steady balance while reaching. The epidemiological evidence supports gardening as a meaningful contributor to healthy aging in community-dwelling older adults. Lastly, I want to talk about the social sport and group activity many Japanese seniors enjoy: gateball and similar light team sports, or community group calisthenics. Gateball is an accessible, low-impact team game that combines walking, aiming, and social strategy. Many studies of leisure engagement in Japan show that physically active group leisure activities are associated with longer, healthy life expectancy. The remarkable thing about group activities is that they combine movement with camaraderie. Psychosocial benefits, sense of purpose, reduced isolation, emotional resilience, have powerful downstream effects on physical health. From a biomechanical standpoint, group sports provide irregular natural movement patterns, short bouts of walking, bending, and reaching, and cognitive engagement that preserves dual task ability, walking while thinking, a key predictor of fall risk and mobility. If you film this for seniors, show them how group drills look: slow walking between markers, gentle reach and place movements, and relaxed standing practice for balance. Emphasize that the primary goals are participation and enjoyment. The exercise benefits are a natural byproduct of a socially meaningful activity. Large prospective studies from Japan show engagement in physically active group-based leisure activities predicts better longevity and functional outcomes. Throughout all of these practices, I want to be clear about safety and dose. The research repeatedly shows the same pattern: modest, regular activity, practiced most days of the week, produces measurable benefits. Short, intensive bursts without progression tend to cause injury, and social context, adherence, and enjoyment determine long-term success more than the exact exercise chosen. For Radio Taiso, aim for daily 5 to 10 minutes. For interval walking, build toward 20-30 minutes, 3 to 5 times per week, alternating brisk and comfortable walking. For Tai Chi, 2 or 3 20-30-minute sessions per week produces balance gains. For sit-to-stand training, aim for multiple brief sets during the day, progressively increasing repetitions. For gardening and household activity, accumulate movement through the day while respecting joint pain and energy limits. For group sports, participate regularly and focus on safe movement patterns. The scientific literature supports this pragmatic, varied approach. Multi-component and habitual movement programs reduce fall risk, preserve muscle function, and support cognitive health over time. Finally, let me offer a practical daily plan that ties these 6 practices together in a realistic routine for many seniors. Begin the day with a gentle Radio Taiso, or 5 to 10 minutes of chair-based warm-ups to wake the joints. If weather and mobility permit, follow with a 20-30-minute interval walking session a few times a week. On other days, a brisk 20-minute walk is fine. Midday or later, spend 10-20 minutes on sit-to-stand practice and simple balance drills, and include some Tai Chi-style weight shifts 2 to 3 times per week for balance and reaction training. Aim to garden or do purposeful household movement several times per week. If gardening is unavailable, structured household chores that require walking, reaching, and carrying are suitable substitutes. And where possible, join a local group activity, whether gateball, gentle community calisthenics, or a seniors class, because the social glue of group activity improves adherence and emotional resilience. This multimodal daily pattern reproduces what many healthy older adults in Japan do, mixing short formal movement with meaningful daily activity, weekly social exercise, and small strength practices that target real-world tasks. A few final clinical notes. Start slowly, honor pain and joint limits, and check with your physician for individual precautions if you have unstable cardiac disease, uncontrolled hypertension, or severe mobility limitations. Use assistive devices initially if needed and progress toward unaided movement under supervision. If balance is poor, practice near a sturdy chair or wall, and consider a physical therapy evaluation for a personalized plan. Most importantly, choose the activities you enjoy, the thing you will do tomorrow and the day after. In the end, habit matters more than perfection. As a doctor and health educator, I want to begin by addressing something that many seniors feel but rarely say out loud. After the age of 60, many people notice that their bodies feel weaker, movements feel slower, and tasks that once required little effort now demand more energy. Standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even walking for longer periods can start to feel challenging. What most seniors assume is that this change is simply a normal and unavoidable part of aging. While it is true that the body changes with age, research over the last several decades has shown that a large portion of this decline is not caused by aging itself, but by gradual muscle loss that is strongly influenced by nutrition. Muscle is not just about strength or appearance. Muscle is a metabolic organ that supports balance, protects joints, stabilizes posture, regulates blood sugar, and helps maintain independence. When muscle mass declines, the risk of falls increases, recovery from illness becomes slower, and quality of life quietly diminishes. This is why the conversation about building and maintaining muscle after 60 is not about fitness trends, but about long-term health and dignity.